Be sure to check out my friend Mason's shop at nomadautoimports.com. He's also on Instagram and Facebook as Nomad Auto Imports. Support him, check out his site, see if there's anything you're interested in. Hey guys, Yoda Code 43 here today with another tour and drive for you. Today I've got the chance to check out this 1996 Rover Mini. Now this one is actually a Japanese import from Japan by Nomad Auto Imports here in Flint, Michigan. I'll have the link to the car in the description below. Make sure you check that out. This particular car is currently listed on his website, nomadautoimports.com, for $17,200. This one is a 1.3 liter 4-cylinder fuel injected single overhead cam with a 4-speed manual transaxle front wheel drive. Actually, the transmission and engine kind of share the same oil pan. It's a very interesting compacted design. I'll show a little bit more of it when I show you under the hood here in a few minutes. And this one is a repainted car in British Racing Green Metallic. Absolutely stunning paint job. It's wow, is it nice. Every angle of it looks really, really good. And a nice off-white, you call it alpine white, ermine white, whatever kind of white you want to call it, eggshell color on the roof. Classic white to go alongside the green. Has a center exit big bore exhaust. Has a piggyback style racing ECU from Mini Performance on it. This one is actually also fitted with air conditioning as well, and it's throttle body fuel injected. It is so tight under the hood. Wait till I show you. But I'll just give you some basic specs on the car. So the 1.3 liter injected engine in these cars was 63 horsepower and 70 pound-feet of torque, 1,273 cubic centimeters, cc's, 4-cylinder engine. Total length of the car is 122 inches. Total width is under 57 inches. Curb weight is 1,543 pounds, or 700 kilograms. It's so small, but not technically in the class of a K car like the Cappuccino video I did a few weeks ago. The Suzuki Cappuccino is a smaller vehicle, and this doesn't fit into that category because of its engine size. Much larger, actually twice the size of the 660 cubic centimeter limit that they normally use. Plus this one is wider than the K car class as well. This is really more of a super mini. So let me just show you down the sides of the car here real quick so you can see how straight it is. It's got these nice little screw-on fender flares to cover the excess width of these tires, which are 165/70 10-inch tires. Yes, that's right, 10-inch steel wheels on this car. Very classic look with the exposed seams of the body here, and then the small tail lights as well, and single reverse light, additional reverse light I should say, more of an add-on. And then I've learned that this is a really popular little trinket in Japan, are these, I guess they're vinyl flaps that they keep around the fuel doors. And really, its purpose is to protect fuel from fuel drippage on the paint. You can, rub off the nozzle on there. But pretty common to see them stay on the cars. And I wouldn't be surprised if these are still like the original window seals too, because normally I would expect these bands to be like a chrome, like a plastic chrome type thing. Show you in the trunk while I'm here too. Not much to see, except this is where they mount the battery in these cars. And then this is actually, that's the fuel tank right there on the left side of the trunk. And you do have the vehicle information tag down here as well. You can see it says Rover Group Limited. Continuing on around the body. Yeah, there's not a spot on this thing. It's in awesome shape. Nice tight to the body aerodynamic small mirrors. This one has a manual antenna you can pull up. Then the classic round headlights. Actually, these ones have like a crosshair in them, which is cool. Tight fitting chrome bumpers. It's a really, really clean package design they use on these. And this one just has like a standard key that goes with it for the ignition and for the doors. These doors are awesome. They sound perfect. So now I'll show you the inside here. There's a lot going on. Starting with the homemade wood speaker enclosures on the doors. As you can see, it has a nice aftermarket wooden shift knob that says Mini Cooper on top of it. Again, it's a 4-speed manual. This one has a Bride racing seat in it, which is too small for me to fit in, so I will not be the one driving this car today. But we will get a driving section, it just won't be me behind the wheel. And then this one has a 6-point bolt-in cage. Hence you see all of these so you don't whack your squabby as you're getting in and out, or various other body parts, because it would hurt. But yeah, it's bolted through the floorboards, and I'm sure it really tightens up the car nicely. That's the standard issue passenger seat you see over there, and it has standard rear seats as well. Though I'm not sure how useful they are with A, the cage, and B, the racing seat in place. Non-adjustable steering column. Good size steering wheel though, because I'm pretty sure these are a non-power steering car anyway, so not that you'd need it with how little weight it is. Aftermarket radio fitted down here. And then this one, like I said, it does have AC. This is the original style AC controls with a big single vent under the middle, and then you actually have twin vents on either end of the dashboard for distributing your air. And the coolest part about this car, I believe, is not only the racing ECU, but the custom gauge layout on the dashboard. The entire dash panel has been replaced with this vehicle-wide set of array of gauges. And they're all by the company Stack, which is pretty high-quality stuff. I couldn't even begin to tell you how much they are probably worth, but they're very cool. You got everything from your water temperature, oil pressure, tachometer, speedo, which is probably a GPS speedometer, which is also why the mileage on this car is unknown, or at least cannot be verified, because it's a digital odometer. You've got your various lights there for your high beams and charge status and signals. Then you also have your fuel quantity and a clock all the way over at the left there. Some various other buttons for functions here in the middle. And actually an exposed fuse panel over on the left here. This car is really set up with the suspension and cage and seat belts and whatnot for like stage rally. Whether it's tarmac or dirt, and probably more set up for tarmac than anything else, but still cool nonetheless. It is really amazing how well they use the space in these cars. And the headliner's in really good shape. Probably original to the car. Now we're gonna pop the hood. I can show you under there. And on the doors, this is your door release, and this is to do your windows. They're pretty low effort. And this is actually your door lock actuator right here. So I just had to learn how to release the hood all the way at the right here. There's a little arm you push back before you lift up. So as you can see, this is a injected engine. throttle body fuel injection. It has aftermarket coolant hoses that are silicone all the way around. That's the strange thing about these old Minis, is they have the radiator on the side of the engine bay with the fan pulling from the engine, pulling air through the fender, through the radiator. It has aftermarket plug wires and probably plugs in it as well. They look fresh. And actually over here is your AC condenser. And there's probably a fan on the other side of that as well. Could not imagine trying to work on the AC system. It's below the alternator here. Then you have your main lines that go out to the condenser and back up to the firewall of the car. So yeah, it's tight under here for sure. Try and lower this quick, but you can see down here next to the engine block is the transmission, which is, well, it basically goes under the engine, and like I say, it shares its oil pan with it. There's actually a tow hook fitted to the front here as well. And then it's got like a little skid plate to protect the oil pan, which, like I said, runs from one side all the way over to the other. Very cool little car. Definitely excited to see how it sounds and how it does out on the road, how tiny it feels. But my guess is with the racing ECU, it probably makes a couple extra horsepower than the original 63 and 70 foot-pounds of torque. Couldn't really venture a guess as to how much, but maybe call it an extra 10 to 15 horsepower. Not really sure. Either way, I'm sure it's going to feel very peppy and sound very cool. Other than that, we'll hop in and we'll go for a drive. Okay, so we're gonna go for a test drive in the Mini Cooper that I don't fit in. Should be a lot of fun. My best to stay out of the way because it's not big at all in here. So how's the Right, yeah. After we can get them past, I don't know, 72, 73, I think we stopped bringing them here.
Seems about right, yeah.
That's a guess. I don't really know, but drives great. I guess it's hard to tell, you know, without knowing the true speed, how fast the car really is to 60. But my guess is it's supposed to be normally stock power about 12 seconds. But the speed's quicker than that because of the race ECU. It's probably closer to 10.
Very happy car.
Yeah. It's just as happy to just putz around the neighborhood. But it's like you're racing because you're low to the ground and it's fun to cut corners with it.
It's so fun to get corners on one of these. We like the Mini Coopers. We think they're definitely good for the United States market because unlike a K car, these can go. These are like a little bit better to daily depending on how you look at it. Because K cars are fun and all, but like a lot of the K cars aren't exactly the